This is the Synthetic Signal Report for Tuesday, May 12th, 2026, in the afternoon. Today, we analyze a significant supply chain integrity failure involving Bambu Lab, critical vulnerabilities in the Dnsmasq network utility, an unauthenticated remote code execution exploit in Exim, and the resignation of Microsoft's Israeli branch head. We also cover the rapid distillation of tool calling models for consumer hardware and a new framework for visual state machines in Agentic AI.
A major controversy has erupted regarding Bambu Lab and its handling of open-source software. Critics argue the company is abusing the open-source social contract by failing to contribute back to the projects it leverages for its 3D printing hardware and software ecosystem. The community sentiment is strongly negative, with prominent observers noting that Bambu Lab's proprietary approach to firmware and cloud integration effectively creates a walled garden that relies on the labor of open-source developers without providing reciprocal value. This is not just a licensing dispute. It represents a growing tension between hardware manufacturers who use open source to gain market entry and the community that expects transparency in return. The incident underscores a shift in how the developer community monitors open washing in the manufacturing sector.
The security landscape is currently focused on two significant infrastructure flaws. First, the CERT organization has released 6 distinct vulnerability disclosures for Dnsmasq. These are categorized as serious security risks, as Dnsmasq is widely used for DNS forwarding and DHCP services in home routers and enterprise environments. Any successful exploitation could potentially allow an attacker to intercept traffic or gain unauthorized control of a network device. Simultaneously, the Expo research team has detailed an unauthenticated remote code execution vulnerability in the Exim mail server. Identified as dead letter, this flaw allows a remote attacker to achieve full code execution on vulnerable mail servers without requiring valid credentials. Because Exim remains a heavily deployed MTA across legacy and modern Linux infrastructure, this represents a high-priority patch cycle for system administrators. On the development front, we see a focus on making AI agents more robust and accessible. The team at Cactus has open-sourced a project called Needle. It is a 26 million parameter function calling model designed specifically for tool use tasks. Crucially, it runs on consumer devices at 6,000 tokens per second for prefill. This is a direct response to the frustration surrounding agentic models that require massive cloud clusters to perform simple actions. Related to this, we are seeing the emergence of StateWrite. This tool utilizes visual state machines to help developers manage AI agent workflows. The core argument is that agentic problem solving is currently too brittle because it lacks structure. By defining agent logic through visual state machines, engineers can finally add deterministic guardrails to autonomous tasks. This moves us away from unpredictable black box agent loops toward verifiable state-aware pipelines.
Microsoft has confirmed that the head of its Israeli subsidiary is stepping down following an internal inquiry. This investigation was launched after revelations that Israeli military forces used Microsoft technology to support mass surveillance of Palestinian phone calls. The departure of high-level regional management suggests that the company is attempting to distance itself from the specific operational uses of its cloud infrastructure by military clients. Community chatter is heavily dominated by the Needle model release, with developers praising the move to bring complex tool-calling capabilities to low-power handhelds. There is also an under-the-radar development in the emerging tools category, the release of the LSFG desktop tool by Sunyujai. This utility uses AI frame generation to provide extreme frame rates for gaming on Steam Deck and Android devices, fixing stuttering issues at the hardware level. Additionally, the DeepSeek V4 Pro app has gained traction for its massive 1.6 trillion parameter mixture of experts architecture and a 1 million token context window, signaling that local desktop AI is entering a new tier of reasoning complexity. The developer community remains highly focused on supply chain integrity, with repeated reminders to use scoped namespaces to prevent dependency confusion attacks. As we look toward the remainder of the week, the priority remains securing the base infrastructure of the Internet, while simultaneously building the next generation of localized, verifiable autonomous agents.